Beardo Cleaver. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing most. Today I want to do a PS4 game collection video. I've been thinking about doing this type of video for a long time, so here's to procrastination. These games are in no particular order. They might be alphabetical at some point, but that is unintentional. First game, Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, I haven't played much of this. I haven't played this particular version yet. This is a remake of the PS2 game. It's on my list. I want to play it. I've heard very good things about it. So it's coming up soon. But it's like, yeah, it's like a third-person action adventure where the levels are the bosses, and you have to traverse the bosses, and each one has like a different gimmick or a different way to take it down. And I can't wait to play it. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. This is a collection, as the title says, of the 3 PS3 games: Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, and Drake's Deception. I think it's free with PlayStation Plus right now. The second one is my favorite, Among Thieves, and then probably the third one, Drake's Deception, and then Drake's Fortune. They're all excellent though, and I think Drake's Fortune was a PS launch title. They're like third-person action adventure. Play like a treasure hunter named Nathan Drake, and looking for treasure and all the relationships that he gets into and all the hijinks. Very well done, very high production value. The motion capture and the voice acting and the voiceovers, and yeah, it's pretty much essential if you have a PS4 or PS3. Get it. No Man's Sky. Again, one of these games that I've had for a long time. I've only played for like 1 or 2 sessions. First person, but I think it's third person now too, like open world space exploration, building stuff. It's gotten better since launch, I've heard, and they've added new features and things to do. Apparently it's one of the biggest game worlds ever created, because it's all, I guess, procedurally generated, randomly generated, and no two playthroughs are alike, because every planet, every beast or plant is randomly named and on the list. Play. Red Dead Redemption 2. This is the special edition, comes with extra stuff. One of my favorite PS4 games. Play as an outlaw cowboy named Arthur Morgan, and you're part of a bigger gang led by Dutch van der Linde, and the game takes you on a journey, a very long emotional journey where you feel totally invested in the characters and your companions and your gang members, your friends. They turn out to be friends. That you don't see them as gang members, because you see them more as family. And yeah, I had a lot of fun playing. A very slow-paced game, which might turn some people off. Like, it takes a few moments to loot anything and everything. Like, you have to like crouch down if you want to loot a cupboard or something. It's very fun. Huge open world to explore. Lots of different areas, vistas, geographical locations, from snowy mountains to plains to swamplands, anything and everything. Rocksmith Be Mastered. So this is a lot like the Rocksmith that came out for the PS3. Remastered. So yeah, it's It's a good tool if you want to learn how to play guitar on a real guitar as opposed to a fake guitar like Guitar Hero Rock Band or something like that. But like I said in my PS3 game collection video for that game, for someone who knows how to play guitar already, I found it kind of backwards and cumbersome, I guess, because they don't really teach you the notes or the rhythms or the theory. It's just like, put your finger here on the 7th fret and play when the bar reaches. Yeah, if you want to learn guitar, pretty good tool, I guess. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Another one of these games that I've tried to get into probably 4 or 5 times now, and I can never progress past like a certain point. I don't know why. I've heard awesome things about it, and this is the complete edition too, as you can see. Play as a witcher, kind of like a beast hunter named Geralt of Rivia. Third-person action-adventure RPG. Apparently this is one of the deepest stories, and the side quests are more in-depth than the main story. So this is definitely one of the games that I want to devote some time to and hunker down and finish it. Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. This is the kind of not remastered, I guess it kind of is remastered, of PS3 game. It's called Dark Souls 2. This includes the DLC, the 3 DLC packs, and I guess some new item descriptions, and some of the areas and enemies have been switched around. Still a good game, but it feels, if you're going into this straight from Dark Souls 1 or 3, it feels a lot more sluggish and slower paced. Like your character feels a lot more heavy and just feels different. Not that it's a bad thing, but don't expect it to play like Dark Souls. Still very good. Not as many memorable bosses. In fact, there are a lot of bosses that I don't remember at all, because I think there were just too many of them. Maybe that's a negative X on its mark, but still a decent game if you're craving more Dark Souls. Recommended. BioShock, the collection. It includes BioShock 1, 2, and BioShock Infinite. Really enjoyed first one and Infinite. Second one was alright. First person kind of shooters, RPGs with some magic involved. Very based on like objectivism and philosophy and stuff like that. So I haven't played the remakes much. Actually, I did play a bit of Infinite on the PS4, but I haven't played the first and second one in this edition. I have played them on the PS3. Play on PS4. Monster Hunter World. Haven't played much of this game. I played a bit when it first came out, but again, I couldn't get into it. It's a third-person action-adventure, kind of like Dark Souls, where you slay beasts and you use the hides and the drops from the beasts, whether it be tails or bones or eyeballs or fingernail, phlegm or whatever, to construct a weapon to take on the next bigger boss, and so on, and the cycle continues. But it's on the list of games to play. I should make a video of just games on the list. Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. That's kind that they named it after me, but this includes Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. pre-sequel, so I don't know when that takes place. I did play a bit of it, but I never got into it. I always, again, stop at the exact same spot, more or less. Borderlands 2 was a lot better than the first one. Much better story. Same idea. You like wide, vast array of guns. Use different specs and different special abilities. One could, for instance, turn your opponents into rats. For probably not though, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I've played through Borderlands 2 a few times, enjoyed it. Haven't beaten the sequel yet. I don't know if I will, but good, because I haven't. Yo. So this is the Sakura of Dark Souls games. Yeah, you play as a samurai, I guess. Third person action adventure RPG. I played a little bit when it first came out, but yeah, I couldn't get into it because I was so heavy into Dark Souls and Bloodborne still. But maybe once I beat Sakura, I want to beat this. Dying Light. The following. The first-person survival horror zombie game with parkour implemented in it. Again, I've tried playing it a few times, never completed it. But it was really fun. I think made by the same guys who made Dead Island. Came out for PS. And I think the cool thing about this game is that come nighttime, more powerful and aggressive zombies come out, and they're just unrelentless, chasing you back to your hideout on the list. It made the list. The Elder Scrolls V. Skyrim. My favorite games of all time. This is the special edition. Includes the DLC, Dawnguard, Hearthfire, and Dragonborn. And I guess it's a little bit remastered too with remastered art and effects, volumetric god rays, dynamic depth of, and more. How could you not love that? First person or third person action adventure open world sandbox RPG set in a medieval fantasy Nordic world. You play as the Dragonborn, the Dovahkiin, and all the fun that comes with it. Highly recommended if you want tons of hours to sink into a game. Many different play styles. You can play as a sneaky archer. You can play as a archer that sneaks. You can play as an archer who uses magic. You can play as a magician who uses a bow and arrow. Use archery as a warrior. Very fun. Very fun. Crash Bandicoot. Insane Trilogy. This is a re-release of, I guess, PS1 games. Crash 2, and Crash Warped, I believe it says. Original 3 games remastered. Yeah. I never played much of the Crash Bandicoot games on the PS1. I did play one on the GameCube, I want to say. Yeah, Wrath of Cortex, I think it was. That was fun. But notoriously very difficult. I stopped playing just recently, maybe whenever it first came out, just because it was too difficult. And I didn't want to bother anymore, but it's on the list. Yeah, third person game for all ages. Platformer, I guess. Yeah. Dark Souls 3. This is the Day 1 edition. Comes with slipcase, and I know it's the Day 1 edition because it says Day 1 edition right there. Another one of my favorite game series. I love Dark Souls. This brings the series to a nice conclusion. Very excellent DLC that comes with it too. It plays a lot more like the first game, a lot more faster paced. And because Bloodborne was released about a year before this, developed by the same company, From Software, I guess they took a lot of inspiration from Bloodborne and implemented it into Dark Souls 3. Very fun game. I play it just to relax sometimes. Resident Evil 2. This is the remake of Resident 2 that came out, I guess, on the PS1 back in the day. I played a bit of that remake, but I always died at the same spot. It was too difficult. So I really like this one. Probably my second favorite or third favorite Resident Evil besides Resident Evil 4. First one I played. You play as Leon Scott Kennedy. His first day on the job as a policeman. Raccoon City Police Department. Yeah, rookie cop's first day on the job. It's actually 2 campaigns. It's actually 4 campaigns. 2 playable characters. And each one has 2 separate campaigns that are slightly different. Just different starting points and different routes and different item locations. Different bosses, different cutscenes, stuff like that. So basically, it's 4 campaigns in one. High replayability because every time you beat the game under certain conditions, you get a different bonus item, like infinite rocket launcher or infinite minigun or infinite SMG or what have you. You can do different challenge runs. Yeah, very fun, very fun. Very tense at some points. High production value. Recommended. That's the front, that's the back. The evil within you or within me, within everybody. This is another third-person horror game, a lot more horrific than, say, Resident Evil 2. And I think it's made by the same guy who made either the first Resident Evil or Resident Evil 4. A lot of parts in this actually reminded me of Resident Evil 4, maybe just more gritty and disturbing. Like, some of the parts are just like, what the f. So I would compare maybe this game to maybe a mixture of like Manhunt, that old classic game for PS2, and Resident Evil 4. There's one part in particular that really reminded me of Resident Evil 4, where you're in some kind of quarry, and you have to shoot these guys in like a scaffolding elevator type thing with a sniper rifle. For some reason, that part really reminded me of Resi 4. So it's been a few years since I played it, and I want to play it again. And I heard the sequel is even better, so maybe we'll give that a shot sometime too. Days Gone. This is a PS4 exclusive, like a lot of my games are PS4 exclusives. Third-person, open-world survival horror game with a bunch of zombies and stuff. I played a bit of it. I never finished it yet, but it's on the list. I just stopped playing. It takes a really long time to build up, and you start really kind of lacking in gear, I guess you could say. And it takes quite a while to increase your reputation with the different factions to be able to buy usable gear. But I think I'm about midpoint now, and I'm starting to get some decent, machine guns and shotguns and stuff like that. But yeah, it's on the list of games to finish. And I've heard it's another one of those games that just got better and better. Time goes on because they keep patching it and making it better and improving it. Bloodborne. I know, my favorite games. I'm actually playing it right now. Got the theme on my PS4 in the background. Third-person action adventure. Gothic cosmic horror. It starts off as Gothic horror, and about midway through the game it kind of switches gears into cosmic horror. Great Ones and Aliens and Eldritch Horrors. If you're a fan of Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, Howard Phillips Lovecraft, highly recommended. Challenging gameplay, very fun. It's the perfect game for Halloween, I think. Just I can't say good enough. I can't say good things enough. I can't say enough good things about this game. That's it. We got it. A bit less weapons than in its cousin Dark Souls, but I think I counted it just a while ago. It's 26 weapons. Yeah. 26 right-hand weapons. But they all transform into alternate modes. They're called trick weapons. And they have a much wider moveset. So each weapon is maybe 3 or 4 weapons in one. You play as a hunter coming to the city of Yarnum, which is like an old Victorian type of town. And there's a scourge happening. Beasts. People have turned into beasts. And you're tasked with finding out why. The story gets just more interesting and fucked up from there. So good. Resident Evil 7. Biohazard. This is the only first-person Resident Evil that I know of. A lot of fun. Very, very spooky. It's kind of the opposite of Resident Evil 6, which I just disliked at all. Too action-heavy. You play as a dude. Get his name. You get a video of your, I guess, girlfriend or wife. She's been missing for a few years, but you get a new video saying that she's alive, but she's saying, don't come look for me. But what are you gonna do? Not look for your girlfriend? Of course you're gonna look for her. So it takes place in, I think, Louisiana, southeastern states around there, with a family of people who have been infected by one of Relicor's experiments. Very kind of edge of your seat. Some parts are highly recommended. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This is the precursor to Assassin's Creed 5 Minor Threat. Never played this one at all. I have it. I bought it a few years ago. But I guess you play as a pirate, assassinating people, as pirates do. I've played a bit of the first one and second one. That's it. I've heard good things about this one. And just because it takes place in a different setting, different ideas as a pirate, on the list. Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the complete edition. Again, I've never played this one. I have it. I've bought it. I had it for a few years now. It's on the list. Apparently, third-person action-adventure. You can tell I'm a big fan of action-adventure games. Another PS4 exclusive. Getting very high reviews. 10 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, 9.3 out of 10. Come on, IGN. What are you thinking? 9.3? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's on the list of games to play, though. I can't wait. Fallout 4. Sequel to 3, or New Vegas. Takes place in and around Boston, Massachusetts. Third person or first person, post-apocalyptic RPG, action adventure. You play as an ex-soldier if you play the male character, or an ex-lawyer if you play the female character, his wife, husband and wife. The cool thing is, as you create your character, you can create what your spouse looks like too. And you have a baby, and that baby, his looks is going to be based on, I guess, the combination of the two spouses, the two parents' appearance as well. some say it's been dumbed down a little bit, like when it comes to choosing skills and perks for your character, because unlike Fallout 3 and New Vegas, the skills basically have been removed completely when leveling up. So now you only have perks to choose from, and in some way that's better, because if you start off with a high level in a certain special skill, let's say strength, you don't have to wait until a certain level to pick that perk that is associated with that high level. Like say you have 10 strength, and that means you can pick the level 10 strength perk right off the bat when you level up, as opposed to waiting whenever that may come. Had a lot of fun playing this game. Still play it occasionally from time to time. Comes with I guess 3 bigger DLCs, like 2 different locations, but 3 story DLCs, and I think 2 or 3 DLCs that kind of expand upon the crafting system, the settlement buildings. You can play the whole game and not play the main story. You could just go from settlement to settlement, rebuilding that way, and leveling up too, because you get XP that way too. One of my favorites. Wow! Titanfall 2. This was a gift from one of my very dear friends, Storybook Gamer, so thank you for that, buddy. Had a lot of fun playing this game. I beat it in one sitting. It's a first-person shooter, and you have a companion who's a Titan, a big mech, and you have the option of, I guess, going into the mech and, how do you say, wearing it, I guess, as you do. It was a lot of fun. I plan on playing it again, and maybe even getting the Platinum Trophy. Thank you again, Storybook Gamer. Doom. This is the 2016 Doom. Had a lot of fun playing this one. First-person shooter. A bunch of aliens and demons and ugly, ugly things. Very over-the-top shooter. Had a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll get the new one, Doom Eternal. I do want to play through this one again a few times. Get the platinum. Maybe stream it too. A lot of fun. South Park. The Fractured Butthole. Let's say that again. The Fractured Butthole. This is the sequel to the South Park The Stick of Truth. This one I never really got into because it's more kind of superhero based, where the first one was more medieval, like RPG based, like so like your character classes. But I hear it's funnier and bigger and better, so it's on the list. On the list. Call of Duty World War II. I don't know if you guys have heard of this game called Call of Duty. It's kind of popular. And like the title says, this takes place during World War II. It's a first-person shooter. It's a lot more, I guess, realistic, when I call it that, as opposed to some other Call of Duties where you're flying around in jetpacks and whatnot. Still play it once in a while, trying to get the Platinum Trophy. And working my way through beating it on the hardest difficulty. So yeah, it's alright. It's alright. Alright. But yeah, I'm not the biggest Call of Duty fan. Just because there's so many of them. So many. Grand Theft Auto V5. Take your pick. This is sequel to Grand Theft Auto 4. Came out, I think, 2012 or 13. And this includes Grand Theft Auto Online as well. It takes place in and around a fictional version of Los Angeles called Los Santos, and the surrounding desert and countrysides and mountains and beaches and seas, and you play as 3 different characters. That's really cool. It's the first time that's ever happened in a Grand Theft Auto game. You play as, let's see here, this guy at the very bottom there, Franklin Clinton, who I guess is supposed to represent the gang part of Grand Theft Auto, like Carl Johnson from San Andreas. And I think he was born in '88, as his license plate implies. So he'd be maybe late 20s, and he's grown up in the hood, being bombarded with gang propaganda, lifestyle choices, and stuff like that, and he wants to get out. But no matter what he does or how hard he tries, he can't catch a break, but maybe he eventually does. That's character 1. The second character you play as is this guy. His mask hides his face. That is Michael Santa. And he is middle-aged ex-bank robber, I guess. And because of events that happen in the game, due to his anger issues, he is forced to go back into robbing banks and robbing high-end jewelry stores to pay off angry drug lords. And the third guy you play as is this guy here. Oh yeah, before I go into the third guy, Michael, I guess, kind of represents the older player, maybe, who again wants to move away from that kind of lifestyle, but is still forced into it. Yeah, the third guy here, this guy, Trevor Phillips of Trevor Phillips Enterprises or Industries or Conglomerate or Concern or whatever. He lives out in the desert area called Sandy Shores. He represents the psychotic Grand Theft Auto player who just receives pleasure from going on rampages and killing everything and everyone. And you could switch between all 3 characters for the most part at any time, except when you're on a mission. Some missions you play as either 1, 2, or all 3, any combination. But yeah, you start the game playing as Michael, and then after the prologue you switch to Franklin for a few missions, and then you switch to Michael, and then you kind of do a few missions for those guys, and then the first major heist happens, and then you switch to Trevor for a few missions, and then I don't want to spoil anything too much if you haven't played it, but then after that you can play as all 3, switching between them. Sometimes you could even have all 3 together in the same car going on rampages and whatnot. Of course, you can only control the one you're controlling, but you'll see the other 2 with you there. One of my favorites. I'm actually playing it right now as well. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Another PS4 exclusive, another game that's, I think, free on PlayStation Plus right now. Very, very fitting conclusion to the Uncharted saga. It's even got an Easter egg shouting out Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, very, very, I guess, mature now. It feels more like mature storytelling. And again, top-notch motion capture and voice acting and all that stuff. Yeah, essential PS4. And I do want to play it again, but it's been a few years. Hopefully get platinum. Yeah, we got a few games left here, maybe a dozen, less than that. The Outer Worlds by Obsidian, same company that developed Fallout New Vegas, and I think the first two Fallouts as well, Fallout 1 and 2. Really like this game. Short but sweet. Maybe 50 hours. So it's kind of like an open world, well, not really open world, first-person shooter RPG. Action adventure. Aesthetically, it reminded me of Bioshock. Like Bioshock in space with whatever skills you choose to level up. That's what you can use in conversation to influence whoever you're talking to. So you can use your speech skill to pass whatever speech checks you want. Get some exclusive prizes. Yeah, I played it as a speech-heavy character my first time through. My only time through. But I think for next playthroughs, I want to switch to someone with no speech skill and no intelligence, and maybe a high melee skill, and just go around smashing everything. Far Cry 4. This was also released on PS3, I believe. Don't quote me, but I think it was on PS3. This takes place in, I guess, the Himalayas, or equal to that, a replication of that. Open world, kind of RPG-ish. Yeah, what can I say? It's fun, definitely fun. I think this game still had crafting, where you have to kill certain creatures, animals, to either increase your ammo capacity and your capacity to carry syringes and healing items and whatnot. The antagonist is this guy, Pagan Min, the guy in the pink suit there. And the funny, cool thing about this game is you can actually beat it legit in about 10 or 15 minutes. Of course, it's not ideal, because what happens is when you first meet Mr. Min, Pagan Min, yeah, he instructs you to sit at a table, and he's like, okay, just wait there, I'll be right back. Of course, most people get up and walk around and escape, but no, if you wait there for about 10 or 15 minutes, he comes back, and you go on to do what you wanted to do, which I think is go to your mother's ashes or something. It's been a while since I played it, but yeah, the game would end right there. So that's a very cool thing. Far Cry 5. So this is one better than Far Cry 4. This is one of those games that I never beat yet. It takes place in the USA. I think around the Montana area, like the heartland, I guess. Say. This took away the crafting aspect, which I really liked. Far Cry, and I think you start the game as an officer, like a Navy SEAL or something. It's been a while since I played it. Dealing with cultists and whatnot. So it's on the list of games to play. Fallout 76, the best game of... No, it's not. It's an okay game. It's very frustrating. It's the sequel, I guess, to Fallout 4, online only MMORPG. Lot of technical issues. You have to be online to play it, and because my internet is kind of crappy, it takes some time, and I'm unable to sometimes play it, even though I bought it. And a lot of controversy surrounding this game, which I'm sure you've heard about. But it does have some strong points. I really like the setting. It takes place in West Virginia, in an area called Appalachia. I think you can play it in third person too. Yeah, third person and first person. But the character development, it takes a lot longer to get started. Each weapon is tied to a level, so you have to be a certain level to use a certain weapon, like level 5 to use a laser pistol, for example. And they finally added NPCs, human NPCs, in the game now, after the game being out for about a year and a half now. What is this? End of April 2020? Yeah. But yeah, lots of, and it even kind of looks better now too. The graphics seem a bit more dense. Like there's more stuff in the distance, in the broad distance. So yeah, I would say the addition of human NPCs is a step in the better direction. But it just feels graphically more like a late era PS3 game, if that makes sense. But I have it installed. I still play it occasionally from time to time, just to explore, because the exploration is the most fun part, I think. So if you're craving more Fallout, I'd recommend it, I guess. Pretty cheap. I got it for $25. Yeah, there's no way I'd pay full price for a game like that, but I told myself when a game came out, if it was, you know, 20 or 30 bucks, I'd buy it. So I bought it. Call of Duty Infinite, there, like this, the never-ending story, except in video game form. Best value. And this comes with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. The old PS game, what is it? PS3? Yeah. Never played Infinite Warfare besides some multiplayer. But that might change soon. I want to do like a full game Friday and just blast through it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is one of my favorite Call of Duties. Some of my favorite missions. It's cool that it's included with this. So on the list. Just 4 games left, it seems. Borderlands 3 is the Super Deluxe Edition. It comes with extra stuff and a cool steel book. I'm currently playing through it right now. I haven't beat it yet. Slowly working my way through it. Not a big fan of the main story. The main antagonists, what are they called? The Calypso twins, Tyrene and Troy, I think their names are. They're just kind of annoying and over the top, and I don't know. I can't get into them, but some of the side quests are ridiculous. I just did one the other day where a porta potty shoots up into the air, Jackass style, and I had to respect that. So I would say it's on par with, maybe a bit better than Borderlands 2. It plays a bit more modern. Some guns have alternate firing modes, so you could switch like an SMG from full auto to semi-auto or burst fire or whatever. That's cool. And because this is the Super Deluxe Edition, it comes with a season pass, which means you get the DLC. Haven't played the DLC yet, but I'm really looking forward to playing the second one, especially the Lovecraftian one, Tentacle Monster. All right, 3 left. Minecraft PlayStation 4 edition, because this is a PS4 game collection video tour. Played it recently again. Very different from when I first played it. They updated it, so I might have to start from the very beginning. But yeah, first person or third person, open world, crafting, exploration. Very old school graphics, all blocks, but very fun, very chill, very awesome music. And I imagine it's like Stardew Valley, where once you really get into it, you're going to be in it, because I love Stardew Valley. And once I have my fill of that, I might move on to this. Sekiro, Shadows Die. Not once, not thrice. This is made by From Software. Same gentleman who made, ladies and gentlemen, I presume, made Dark Souls and Bloodborne. This takes place in Japan in the in feudal Japan, it says. So he plays a samurai with stealth abilities too, which I really hope they implement in future FromSoft games. You can sneak up behind enemies and backstab them and get a critical hit in. And where Bloodborne forces you to dodge a lot of enemy attacks or parry them, Dark Souls forces you to block or parry attacks. This game forces you to deflect attacks. And it's a totally different combat style if you're going into it thinking it's like either of those two other games, Bloodborne. It's not. And I found that out because I was playing all three simultaneously, and I got my ass handed to me in this game multiple times. Still haven't beat it. I'm at the last boss, slowly working my way through it. Got 4 phases. Well, the last boss is really 2 bosses, but the first boss has 1 phase. The last boss has 3 phases, so it's 4 phases. And yeah, I'm trying to cheese it with all the cheese in the world, and still not there. But one day, get it. One of my favorites. Sakura, Shadows Die Twice. Last game. Dark Souls. One of my favorites. One of my all-time favorites. Especially on the PS3. This is the game that started it all. Kind of. Actually, yeah, it is. It is. I'd say it's my favorite one. It's my favorite FromSoft game. Play as the Chosen Undead. Was tasked to succeed the Lord of Cinder. Succeed in linking of the fire, which means keeping the curse going. Or saying, forget that, I'm out of here, and ushering in the age of dark and insanity. I like this one the best because, like I said in my PS3 game, I believe, you start the game, when you get to the first Firelink Shrine, you can go, I think, 5 ways. So you can get different gear that way, and you could adjust your playstyle according to that. And do different challenge runs that way, as opposed to going one of 2 ways in Dark Souls 2, or 1 way, basically, Dark Souls 3. Yeah, you have to play quite a way. Actually, no, there's 2 ways you can go, but the second way, you have to beat a really difficult boss at that early in the game. You have to be really skilled, which I've been able to do once, I think, with the help of a cooperator, a grossly incandescent cooperator, I think. Get the name of it. But yeah, love this game. I love the art style. I love the soundtrack. I love the feeling of hopelessness and the feeling of exploration and the feeling of overcoming your boundaries and your obstacles. Yeah, great game. That is my PS4 game collection video. If I had to choose my top 5 PS4 exclusives that aren't on PS3, let's see here. I would say I'm gonna pick games that I've beaten. Fair. Let's see here. I would definitely say Uncharted 4, Sakura. Gotta say Bloodborne. Fallout 4. And I would say Skyrim, that was released on PS3. Well. And I guess Dark Souls 3. Yeah. Fallout 4, Uncharted 4, Bloodborne, Sakura, Dark Souls 3. Yeah, sense a pattern there, maybe? Well, thank you, From Software. Keep them coming. That's the video. If you enjoyed it, if you found it informative, enjoyable, educational, entertaining, if you just like my beard, if you like those little strands of white, gray, silver hair in my beard, I know you did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit to comment, like, and share the video. Thanks for watching. Peace.